100-348-1007.
It's not every day you hear him complain about something. Wait, yes it is.
Alan Cox.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Guest is going to be Dr. Ryan Berglund from the Cleveland Clinic. We did a segment for a long time called Is It Red? And he was the person that I had on my mind. And as it turns out, our very first guest in studio is another Ryan. Dr. Ryan Dalton, who's back in town this week. Oh, Ryan Dalton. When I first came to Cleveland, Ohio, these many years ago, and started to ingratiate myself in the comedy community in Cleveland, Ryan Dalton was the Galactus, for you comic book nerds. Ryan Dalton was the Silver Surfer in this town, right? He was the man. And I still think of you as the man. And now you're back.
Well, I
from outer space.
appreciate your low standards, and that maybe you've never seen any other comedians from that time moving forward.
I've seen a lot of them, but still, you've been in LA for a while now. Seven years? Wow. 2015 you went out.
Right. I mean, 5 years, not including the pandemic, but 7 years.
Yeah. It chopped some out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you're back.
I'm back, baby.
Now, just so I'm clear and so everybody's clear, because now Hilarities is right around the corner from us.
So convenient.
So,
That's
come
awesome.
on.
So convenient.
Oh, I assume you're sleeping in the green room like all the comics do. That's good.
I'll end up sleeping in the green room probably by Saturday night.
Okay, good.
I'll be snoozing.
I think Friday when I show up after the Guardians game, I'm like, what's up?
Everyone's
man?
napping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the night that you're going to get sleepy there.
So you're headlining Sunday night,
Headlining Sunday.
but you're featuring for Steve Byrne the other night.
Yes, no, but it's Thursday. I'll feature.
Yeah.
Friday first show. I'm not going to be there.
Okay.
Because I have a major announcement.
Uh-huh.
Are you announcing it here?
I'm announcing it here.
You're blessing us?
I've waited. I've sat on this. It's been intense negotiations. I have just signed a 1-game contract with the Cleveland Guardians
To do what?
to start as the starting pitcher of the Cleveland Guardians.
That is very
This
exciting.
is fact. This is happening.
Very, very exciting.
And I have a very powerful sports agent. I'm not going to mention his name.
Oh, not her name?
No. Are there women agents?
Me.
She takes
Mary Santora.
92%
Mary just got
right
into
there.
the
Yes.
business. And,
Right.
Yeah, she takes 92%.
I'm only
92.
going to throw one pitch on 365 days rest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of money. I don't want to get into specifics. I don't like bragging about how much money I'm making, but
Nor
I will
should
be
you.
the starting pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians.
That is so
Friday.
awesome. Have you ever thrown out a first pitch before?
I have not.
Yay!
Not even at a
So you're
Dodger
for real
game?
throwing out the first pitch?
Again, I'm starting. The first
the
pitch is
starting
also
pitcher.
I am the guy who starts the game.
Yeah.
Thus the starter.
Right.
Throwing one pitch against. Guess what? The White Sox too scared to put a batter against me. They don't want to see my heat.
I understand.
They already know it's going to be a strike.
Also, the catcher not wearing full gear because they don't want to lose track of the ball coming at them at the velocity I have.
They want to have a full 360 vibe
Yes.
of whatever happens.
They stop
happens.
the game for
Yeah.
this
Keep your head on a
before
swivel.
it starts. So
How
I'm so excited.
will-
I'm going to
That's
be at
so
that game.
exciting.
I am very excited about
Make sure you
this.
get video.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
was
yeah.
I will.
literally practicing with my trainer, also known as my wife. I was throwing because she doubted me.
Yeah.
She doubted me, and I was throwing dead
like a
strikes.
good wife will.
I measured it out.
Yeah.
I measured it out with my iPhone with the little measure app to see the 60 feet,
mound,
66
though.
feet, and I was throwing dead strikes.
Can I offer you some advice?
Yes, please.
Don't over prepare, because that was the mistake that I made. I threw out the first pitch in 2011, and we were still living in Ohio City, and there was a park nearby.
Mhm.
There was a regulation ball field. Right, length, you measure it out, like you said.
Right.
Pitcher's mound to home plate. I went out there, morning of. There's nobody catching for me. I'm throwing, going to get the ball, going back out to the mound, and I'm throwing. It's like 5 a.m, right? There's
Right.
nobody,
What
there's
a
nobody
psycho.
catching for me. So anyway, because I know I'm not. Bill knows I'm not Joe Sports.
Yes, everyone
right?
knows. I don't think you have to go, yeah, well, Bill knows. Not everybody knows this, but Bill knows. No,
And we all know a
everyone's
guy
pretty
named
aware.
Joe
Yeah.
Sports.
Yeah, I asked him to keep it under wraps until now. I'm also making an announcement. I'm not Joe Sports, but I'm also a southpaw. So I'm like, I have a lot of things against me, and I didn't want to go out and look like a douche.
Right.
It was me it was a guy from like Veterans Day. It was like Senior Citizens Day or something. And this guy smokes me. This guy, I go out, I hit the dirt, I think.
Yeah,
I've got it on DVD somewhere. It's buried.
It's on
Yeah, it's on YouTube. This old guy follows me, and he couldn't have been nicer. He was like a VFW type or something. So he wasn't crotchety.
Right.
He wasn't like the old man in Up. But I mean, he gets out there, sails it across.
He had to set his
I was
walker
like,
aside to pitch a
this
fastball.
guy. Don't wear yourself out with over preparing. I think you probably have more innate ability than I do. So you probably don't have to prepare so much.
Well, I
Don't
wasn't.
wear yourself out.
I had some previous experience in Little League.
Yeah.
I don't like to brag about my stats because there
Yeah.
are none recorded.
Right.
But I know that I need to get it over the plate, and I went last night to the game, which we should have won. There was really bad, terrible calls.
That's what everybody's saying.
Horrible calls.
Okay.
And I watched the guy throw out the first pitch to see what the scenario, how it was all laid out.
You're doing some recon.
Recon.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Recon.
Right, yeah.
And the guy just hit the dirt, and I'm like, the error goes in. You're worried about being precise. You're not worried about getting the ball there.
Who was the guy?
I don't know. I didn't because I was walking in over the bridge too, and I got to see him do it, and it went left and it bounced in the dirt.
I think this is the silver lining of screwing up the first pitch.
Right.
Most people don't know who they announced it is. A lot of people aren't paying attention. So unless, they give you a DVD copy of your pitch, so you have it for posterity. But barring that, you could tell everybody that you killed it, no matter what happens.
Oh, I'm gonna post it either way. I
Yeah.
want the boos. I want the
Right, I
yays.
understand, yeah.
I want the heckles. I want it all.
Yeah.
It's
Warts and all.
it's
Yeah.
almost better if it's real bad.
Real
Because
bad.
then more
I
people
know.
can talk
Yeah.
about
If
it.
it's real
Like a
bad.
50-cent
like
pitch.
50 cents
Your Baba Booey.
was so bad.
Right.
Throw it with your left hand. Screw it, man. Unless you're left-handed.
Oh, it would be bad. It
Do
wouldn't
it.
even make. It wouldn't even make it to one section of the ballpark.
Right, but
it
then
would be
you're
like
like-
it would be
you're like-
just like a.
The ball.
Now, forget about your own sense of accomplishment. Is it fair to say that you want to nail this just to prove to your wife how wrong she was in doubting you?
Well, the good news, that part is gone because she helped me with practicing, and I was throwing dead strikes, and she was like, "I can't believe you know how to do this," like to my face, like over and over, like too
She's like,
many
no, I
times.
can't.
No,
Too
you're
many times.
so
I didn't
trust
hear
you
unathletic.
enough.
Everything about you says you shouldn't be able to do this.
Yes, and I was doing it, and she was like, she looked at me like I was a kid who got all the powers of the aliens from Space Jam,
Right.
and I was like, yeah, I can throw a baseball, okay, lift weights, I can do it.
Yeah. Honey, look at me. I'm shredded.
I mean,
Right?
my arm will fall off tomorrow probably because that throwing motion is not natural to me.
Are
You're
you gonna
right-handed.
throw as hard as you can?
No, that's
No, you
another
gotta-
mistake.
No,
But
that's absolutely what you should do.
Yeah.
If you want a highlight video, throw it as hard
He's
as
gonna
you
break
can.
his
And
shoulder.
release when
Yeah.
your arm is straight down. Just drop it at your own feet.
Into the
bounce it off the ball
just
back
Break
into
your
the
own,
net.
yeah.
Or just launch it into the stands.
Break your own nose. Turn around. Throw it behind you. Screw it. Into the outfield.
Yeah, do a Trevor Bauer. Remember when he chucked the ball, like he was pissed about something, and he turned around and chucked the ball
Oh,
over
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
outfield wall. Like it was awesome.
Well, it's very exciting.
I know. I'm very
That's,
pumped about
that's
it.
super cool, man. That's
And
really, really
I hate
awesome.
to miss a show, but dreams do come true. And when you become a professional athlete and can retire in one pitch, you got to do it.
I have a very
Yes.
important question.
Sure.
What are you going to do when they offer you a position on the team? Are you going to choose baseball over comedy?
It's gonna be a tough. It's something that's been weighing on me for minutes, and I got to tell you, I don't know what I'm gonna do because
Because it's going to happen.
I'm not ready. I don't know if I'm ready for the fame. I'm definitely not ready for the fortune, and I'm also not ready for the failure when they see that I'm a one-trick pony.
Yeah, your triple
can-
Fs, you're not ready for it.
I don't know if they're ready for my 33-mile-per-hour heat.
33
I thought about
miles
doing
per
it
hour.
underhand like a softball pitcher, but that would go even worse.
Jenny
Like,
Finch, do it super fast but underhand.
yeah, but you'd have to be good. I don't want to blow it at that because now I'm mocking people who play softball. I
I
won't do
see.
that.
Right. Yes. Well, and you want there to be, you want to succeed and do a good job because there's reverence for the game.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be, especially comedian Ryan Dalton. How will they announce you? Now, ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Kent, Ohio, but comedian Ryan Dalton.
You know,
It's probably how they're going to introduce you, but you don't want people thinking, oh, this clown's going to come out and screw around.
I thought they were going to ask me for a clip of my stand-up, so I volunteered it, and the woman was just like, no, we don't need that.
Absolutely not.
Not even yeah, that's good. You know, we didn't think to ask. He's like, no, we don't have time for that.
How
We're
did it
not
come
gonna
to you,
do
though?
that.
How did this come?
Yeah.
Well, look,
I know tense negotiations aside.
Sam at Hilarities is
Yeah.
the nicest human being. Like, nice to a point. Every comic who comes through that club is like, how is this guy nice and not jaded and the most miserable person in the world?
Right.
Because it is such a responsibility to run a comedy club, let alone one of the greatest in the entire country.
Right.
And so I'm like, look, how can I get people to come? Let me think out of the box. So I've been watching, since the pandemic, I've been watching so much baseball on the Major League Baseball ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have become enamored. I'm like, okay, there's a game on Sunday. Maybe I reach out to Sam and I go, what do you think the chances of this guy throwing out the first pitch to promote the show? And he answers 3%. I was like, wow, really? I'm from here. Like, I haven't done much, but I have a couple clips. You know, I did a dry bar special that has like about 500,000 views.
Right.
It's not a lot, but it's a lot for me.
But these things
Right.
are also, they're not random. It's also like everybody who does, people are telling me the guy did it last night was a college quarterback or something. So it's always somebody knows somebody who knows somebody else.
Right. So I
And you
admit,
know people.
I reached out. I was like, let's get the ball rolling.
Right.
You know.
Hopefully not when you pitch it.
Yeah.
Right.
That
But-
would be a pretty good move.
I mean,
Bowl
I
it.
just-
Yeah,
to
just
just roll
bowl
it, just straight up bowler
I
style.
just wish Tom Hamilton, the voice of the Cleveland Guardians,
Yeah.
could call what I did. Because I don't know. I've become so obsessed with Tom Hamilton. I think he's the greatest announcer alive today
Yeah.
in baseball.
Yeah.
And I could listen to him literally do anything. Like I could hear Tom Hamilton going, Mary Santora once led Instagram in posts per second.
Whatever,
Just
dude.
things.
Her thirst traps are legendary.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Well, that won't
maybe
happen. He doesn't kick in until the beginning of the game.
Understood.
Right.
But, you know, maybe, listen, we are the FM flagship for the Cleveland Guardians.
Sure.
Maybe between now and then, you're doing this on Friday?
I'm doing this the Friday game. Yeah.
I wonder if there's anything we could do on this end to get Hamilton to call the pitch.
I would openly cry. I would. I mean, you know, like it's that application allows you to listen to the radio, and it's synced up very well with the live action of the game. And I'm like, Tom Hamilton. It's like you can smell hot dogs cooking when he's talking. That's how good of a picture this guy
brings
paints.
you into the
Yeah.
I
game.
mean, he gives
But
you.
that's his cologne, though. That's like a signature scent.
I mean, and my favorite thing Tom Hamilton does is, I don't know which inning it is, but it's always this contest, and it's always the hardest thing a team can do, and it's to give away 4 tires for Conrads. It's like, if the Cleveland Guardians hit a home run grand slam off a bunt, 4 new tires go to Kelly Jenkins from Parma, from Conrads.
Yeah.
How about that?
Right. Who did you guys have in Cleveland before Tom Hamilton? He's been there a long time,
He
right?
really
30
is.
years.
Yeah, long
Do you,
time.
But when you were a kid, do you remember who you had? Who was calling Indians games?
Well, that's a good question because I didn't become really enamored with Indians baseball until like the early 90s. So
Okay.
I couldn't tell you. I
So
was
he
like,
got you. He's the voice you
Yeah,
most closely associate with.
I mean, it's to the point where I'll be watching just tons of these regular season games, and even Ashley will be in the other room. Is like, is he just that good, or is it because that's the only voice we know? But then I started listening to all the other away teams, and I'm like, they're
No,
good.
he's that good.
But Tom Hamilton
Yes.
is insane.
Would you settle for Tom Hamilton, the guitarist of Aerosmith?
Yes, I would. I would be honored.
This dude truly looks like a lady. Here comes the first pitch from Ryan Dalton.
It was Herb Score.
Oh yes, Herb
Yeah.
Score and Joe Tate. Joe Tate was
He did a few
got a
years,
start.
yeah.
Oh,
He got
before
a
the
start.
Cavs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I was
And he was
reading
the
his book.
best.
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually writing a film right now about the legendary 10-cent beer night that
Mhm.
happened in June 6, 1974.
What's it called?
Beer night.
There
Yeah.
were
You need 2 words to sell a movie.
Real
beer
original.
night.
yeah.
Beer night.
What's your elevator pitch? beer night.
My elevator
I
pitch
like
is
it.
like Major League slams into Titanic.
There you go. Let's
Sign
do
right
it.
here. Press 3 copies. Let's
Yep.
go.
Artie Lang is still alive. Let's call him up. Ryan Dalton is back in Cleveland to do shows at Hilarities, to pitch at a Guardians game, and God knows what else. Just imagine what this could potentially open up for you while you're here.
I mean,
You could go back to Los Angeles, the conquering hero,
I know. I
a
mean,
king.
to be the first 46-year-old man to be signed to a Major League Baseball team with really no previous experience
Yeah.
or skill level or set for that matter, or anything that's positive or on any chart when a scout looks at it,
Yeah.
would be a record.
Yeah, take that, Dennis Quaid.
Real life Dennis Quaid. Right.
Which I think we've referenced that movie twice in 2 days of being in this.
I
We
was
did.
gonna
We
say,
talked about
yeah.
Angels in the Outfield. We did a whole baseball schedule
Yes.
segment yesterday.
More times than we ever have in the previous 10 years. So what else? I mean, you're happy? Life's good? I mean, we haven't seen you for a while.
I know I'm in at around the 420 segment, so I had a 420 story for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get one day, I live in a fourplex, and I'm in the first apartment in the fourplex, and all of these packages come, but I live in a part of Hollywood where, like, if I don't remove the packages from the driveway, the homeless, also known in my household as the homeless raccoons, will scurry and grab your stuff and steal it.
Okay.
So now that I've been in this place for 7 years, I'm like the old guy who cares too much for everybody else. So I grab people's packages and put them on their door so that the transients don't come by.
You're the neighborhood nice guy.
I am.
Yeah.
I like to, and because
You have your
I've
days
seen this
free.
happen. I've seen
Yeah.
people just swipe packages with my own eyes, not on a camera. So I was like, this package had been sitting here for 3 weeks, and then finally I start texting everybody. I'm like, hey, there's this package from. I look down and it's from Sassy Swag is the name. Sassy Swag. And I was like, did anybody mail something from Sassy Swag? Because our address is the return address, and it had been mailed to Georgia and sent back to this address.
Yeah.
So I go, did you get anybody something from Sassy Swag? And they say, no, I'm offended. You would think I'm a company called Sassy Swag. So I take the package into my apartment. It sits there for another 2 weeks, and finally I'm fed up with this stupid thing taking up room, and I commit a federal crime. I
You
open
open
it.
the box.
It's
I
also
open
good
the
to
box.
talk about on the air.
Yeah, well,
You're gonna
This is
lose
in
your
Los
Major
Angeles,
League
this
days.
is in Los Angeles, California.
Aye.
And I open it. It's a pound of marijuana.
Wow.
A pound
Yeah.
of marijuana, which is
Yeah,
Italian,
of
again,
course.
for marijuana.
Yeah.
And
Boy, how long did it take you to smoke that?
you know what's funny? That's the first reaction when anybody hears that.
Yeah, they
like,
go.
you should smoke it, bro. I'm like, it's a pillowcase
Right.
full of drugs.
Strange. Didn't take me that long.
I would have emphysema a quarter of the way through that thing.
Right.
And it's not a
Did
blessing.
you bring it with you?
No, I did not. Although legally you can fly with a good amount from California somewhere.
Mm-hmm. You just don't want to get pinched for intent to distribute.
Absolutely. And I feel like I made a wish from a genie curse wish in college that came true in my 40s. Because like in college,
If I could open
yeah,
a box.
I know,
wish I had a
man, I wish
pound
some
of
sweet
weed.
tasting nugs would drop out of the sky.
I wish I had
That'd be
all the
awesome.
weed I could smoke and I could play for the Indians.
And then I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And because in California, weed is so legal, it is falling from the sky.
Right.
I live a quarter mile from 5 dispensaries that are each an inch away from each other.
Yes.
I have no idea what to do. I actually walk into one of the dispensaries and just go, I know what you're going to say, but I have to ask, what would you do in this situation?
Right.
And they're like, well, we can't take it because it's against the law if we take it, so I guess you got to sling it. So
Yeah.
guess what?
Guess what?
Ryan Dalton's Breaking Bad. And I've been
Two big
slinging
announcements today.
slinging
Good for-
that weed out there
That is some sassy
for,
swag,
to
isn't it?
comedians
Yeah.
because
They will buy it.
they will buy it.
Yes, they would.
Yep.
And for pennies on the dollar. And even, this is the weird side effect. My wife slightly turned on by this.
Ooh,
Yes.
bad boy
She was
Ryan.
like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, my husband's like a drug dealer.
No big deal.
It's so cool.
You're Walter Tan.
Yeah, except I always point out to her, I'm like, you get turned on because you've seen a lot of these cocaine documentaries on Netflix, and I'd like to remind you, they don't end well.
Right.
None of them
Guys,
end
Maybe
well.
that's what
guys
turns her
flying
on.
into Guatemala undercover.
But they always have a sweet run in the
Yeah.
beginning. It's like the coolest run ever, and then it just ends terribly. So
Do you
Before they go to
think-
commercial, they go, and then it got away from us.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Do you think that's what turns her on? Is she's like, he's going to become a drug lord and die, and then I can live my life.
You know what?
Without
Now that I
my
think about it,
husband.
maybe
or he's gonna be dead.
And I've got the whole
and
place to me and the wiener dog.
And I know where he keeps the cash. So
But you'll be a drug lord. Again. you
yeah, but
could
my
be a drug
business
guy.
model depends on pounds of weed falling out of the sky into my driveway.
Yeah.
yeah, you got one run. Like it's
Yeah, it's done. I'm gonna retire.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
Little
Anyway,
side hustle. Sure,
just-
sure beats driving Uber, I say.
just because I got your back. That was a funny made up story.
yeah. I mean,
For
yeah.
entertainment
right.
radio.
Yes, I'll tell you
This
what.
guy killing
I mean,
it.
hey.
This guy, he writes material
I
and he
paint a
performs
picture.
it so well. So well.
The Tom Hamilton of finding weed stories.
Uh-huh. Well, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks
I
for
appreciate it.
coming
And I am
down.
honored to be the first guest. I'm not the Ryan you wanted, but I
It's
am
the
the Ryan you got.
deserve.
Yeah.
That's right. Ryan Dalton is back in town to make your dreams come true at Hilarities. You go to pickwickandfrolic.com for all the details. He's going to be headlining on Sunday night. You're doing tomorrow night, second show Friday,
Mm-hmm.
Saturday 2 shows,
Right.
headlining Sunday.
That's right.
And then you go back home to Los Angeles, but probably never to return.
No,
SWAT's going to show up
absolutely.
something. I mean, you know.
I gotta come back.
All
I
right.
gotta come back.
Well, when you do, we'll be here. And then we'll see you next time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, let me take a break. If you want to text for something, 35192 to do that. AlanCoxShow.com. You can watch live and you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS. We got stuff. You want stuff.